Welcome back to tutorial. In this video, we are going to discuss about arithmetic sequence and series. Rest assured, this content is for all level of IB mathematics. So if you're taking IB AISL, AIHL, AASL, and AAHL, this is for you. Let me write some numbers and you can see whether there is a pattern between them. So let's say if I start with 7, I jump into 9, I jump into 11, I jump into 13, and so on. Can you tell any pattern that you see from the number before to the number after? Well, you can see that each of them is an addition of 2 from the before. So, this pattern that is consistent of addition or subtraction, we call that arithmetic sequence. By definition, we write it that a term subtracted by the term before has a difference. This is the basic understanding for arithmetic sequence. And that's why in your formula book, you have the formula that UN is the first unit, and then you add it with the n minus 1 as a bracket multiplied by the differences. So you can see that this formula is working on this context. We know that the first term is 7, right? So let's say if I want to go into the fourth term, in which that is U4 equals to 13, we can keep it as U4 first. And now you might want to see why it is n minus 1. Because take a look that to get into the fourth unit, we need to jump 3 times. So that's why if this is 4, then the jump is 3 times multiplied by the differences. The differences is plus 2. So 7 plus 6 equals to 13, in which we get exactly the same as the above. Now we can keep that formula aside and moving on into arithmetic series. So on sequences, we focus on the exact term, and for series, we are zooming into the summation of them. So in your formula book, you are going to have this formula, and now we're going to explore or investigate a little bit why is this formula happening. Let's say we're going back to the same sequence and we want to know the sum of them. So I will do an addition of them, and let's say I do not know what is the sum. I will symbolize that with x. But remember, when you add numbers, you don't care about the order. So you can go from left to the right, and also you can go from right to the left, and that is what we're going to do. 13 plus 11 plus 9 plus 7, and the sum will be equal to x. So now we're going to add them vertically. So in which on the right hand side, we will have 2x, and we can see that it is 20, 20, 20, and 20. Take a look that we have 4 terms and we have 4 20s. So that's how I'm going to write it. 4 times 20. And because we want to know x instead of 2x, we move this into the left hand side, becomes division of 2, and that's equals to x. Now we can see the equivalence in which x is the sum, and in this case the n is 4 units. And you can see that this is 4 divided by 2, and 20, you get that from the first unit added by the last unit, or it is here. Hope that this helps you to understand the formula. And the other way to work with this formula is by substituting the UN formula into the SN formula. So that's why you have 2U1 plus n minus 1 in bracket multiplied by d. Before moving on to practice question, let's do the sigma notation. So sigma notation is the statement for you to ensure that you want to do a summation. So in this case, we're interested, let's say, from the very first term, right? So we can say when x is from 1 and we want to sum that until the nth unit or nth term. So that's why we, on top of it, we write n. And we want to sum each term. In this case, we write it ux. Why it is ux? Because the x will start from 1 and it goes up until n. So let's say if the n is 4, it means you sum u1, u2, u3, and u4. Let's see how it works in the sample. I have a number starting from 11, going to 15, going to 19, 23, and let's say this is going up into 20 terms. So let's say we are interested to find the u20, right? So I will go that u20 is u1 and I add them with the jumps. 20 minus 1. So it will be 19 jumps of the difference. And now we just substitute what we have. We can see that the U1 is 11. So I will write it is 11. And then for the difference, it is consistently an addition of 4. So 19 times 4. And the answer is 87. So now let's find the sum for this series up to 20 terms. So it is S20, right? And I will show you how to write that in the sigma notation and also how to calculate that with the formula. So in sigma notation, you will write that you want to sum everything from the first term until the 20th term. And it will be ux. And now you need to expand the ux using the un formula. So it will be the first unit, which is 11, plus x minus 1 multiplied by 4. And now you tidy it up, it will be 4x plus 11 minus 4, in which it is 4x plus 7. So this is how you're going to write it in the sigma notation. Moving on into calculating the real sum, it is 20 terms divided by 2. The first term is 11, and the last term, we found it's 87. And calculating that, we will get that the answer is 980. That is the short video of arithmetic sequence and series. If you have more questions or need private tutoring, you can comment down below, click link on the description, and make sure to subscribe to this channel.